there, welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And today the movie I'm reviewing is called Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This action drama is now available in theaters and on video on demand. It's rated PG-13 and is 2 hours and 41 minutes long. That's a long movie. My movie review mom grade is, drum roll, an A-. And let me explain why. Marvel fans have a lot to say about every Marvel movie that comes out. And so these are just my first impressions and also what I've read online from other film critics. So I just wanted to give you just a heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to go and see this movie and spend money and time doing so. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that I think you'll also like that are somewhat similar. Ready? So in a nutshell, Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku Oye, and the Dora Milaje fight to protect, I probably slaughtered those words. Anyway, they fight to protect the kingdom of Wakanda from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandians strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of war dog Nakia and Everett Ross and forge a new path for their nation. Ryan Coogler directed the superhero movie, as well as co-wrote the screenplay with Joe Robert Cole. So here's the list of things that I really liked about the movie. First of all, the fantastic cast includes Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright, Martin Freeman, Danae Gurira, Winston Duke, Angela Bassett, Tenoch Huerta, and many more. Clearly, Chadwick Boseman will be missed. He was a fantastic actor. His real-life brother has been opposed to retiring his character and thought that Chadwick would have preferred that the role be simply recast in his absence. The director said that making this movie without Chadwick was the hardest thing he had ever done. He definitely leaves big shoes to be filled, and we'll see what happens. There's a little sneak peek at the very end of the movie. I don't want to give you spoilers, but I think you might be excited about it. Fun fact, the actors who played Talokan actually learned a Mayan language for the movie. This is an incredibly emotional movie, and you can tell in the actors' faces that it's not just acting. They really miss the original Black Panther, the actor. Before filming this movie, Tenoch Huerta didn't know how to swim, which is hilarious because his role is this swimming guy, this guy that lives in the water. When the director asked him if he knew how to swim, Huerta simply replied, "I've never drowned before." So I thought that that was really cool that he was ready to go for it. And this movie, some people say, is really his movie. He plays a very big role in it. We'll see if he shows up in later movies. I don't know, or if this is writing him off. Again, there's some ambiguity, but I think you'll be a little bit excited about what happens with his character. The film is absolutely gorgeous to look at. The costume design is fantastic. There are stunning set designs. There's beautiful cinematography, and just visually, it is something to behold. There is also impressive stunt work and plenty of action sequences. You got to have that in a Marvel superhero movie, right? But you also need to have heart, and this movie definitely has that as well. There is some super cool technology, and there is some super cool superhero presence in the movie, both with the Wakanda and with some of these super villains. So there were some things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, some of this CGI doesn't look that great, particularly under the water. Now, that being said, I said that the movie looks amazing, and it does. We've just become so spoiled with CGI and Marvel technology in a lot of their movies. So I'm just kind of trying to look for things that weren't perfect, just so you can kind of manage your expectations. The scenes at nighttime are really dark, and they might be hard to see what's going on if you're streaming the movie to your small devices. Try to see it on the biggest screen that you can. Another thing is that this movie is very long, as I mentioned. I think some things could have been cut out just to tighten it up a little bit. Marvel loves to create these epic movies, and fans want long movies because we just never tire of seeing them. But because of the somber tone of the movie, by the end of the movie, you're a little fatigued. Men are completely emasculated in this movie. The big muscular black men in Wakanda do absolutely nothing but stand around and talk. The male villain with superhero powers gets defeated by a skinny young Wakandian. And I won't tell you who, but you can probably figure it out. The only Wakanda warriors who are featured in the movie are women. So why does Hollywood think that the only way that women can be shown as powerful is by making all men weak and worthless? As a mother of 4 sons, this narrative infuriates me. Why can't the men and women be equally strong? Now, they are different, and I would love to see that featured, but instead the men are just diminished in their roles, and that's not fair, especially because the original Black Panther was a man. Now, I don't mind a woman becoming the Black Panther, but just because of the pile-on of all of these demasculations, is that a word, of these men, it just really frustrates me. Reversing consequences in movies, especially superhero movies, to me feels like lazy writing. Now, no spoilers, but there is a little bit of that going on in this film. I loved the closing song by Rihanna called Lift Me Up. And it just really spoke to the heart and soul of this movie and the healing that needed to take place in this film and with the actors in real life. As with all Marvel movies, keep watching until the very end of the closing credits for a shocking and exciting reveal. I actually really liked it. All right, let me give you some tips for parents. There is lots of violence and destruction. It's a Marvel superhero movie, of course. There is some profanity, talk of death, obviously the passing of the Black Panther. Spanish is spoken with subtitles, and some other Mayan language type is also has some subtitles. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are death and grief, legacy, family, healing from sorrow, honor, culture, female empowerment, as I mentioned, pride and honor, vengeance, and ultimately this movie is such a loving tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman. Now, I always like to include funny lines and interesting lines to give you kind of a taste of the script and the humor, or just the dialogue in general. And you can find them all on my written website, my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So I'll just share a few of them with you right now. So Shuri, who's played by Letitia Wright, says, "They think we're vulnerable. They're welcome to find out." And that line shows some courage and fight that the Wakanda still have in them. And then another line that I thought was really funny, because it's also a wink to the audience, is spoken by Riri, who's played by Dominique Thorne. And she says, "That is some super villain beep." I have to beep out the profanity because she says a bad word. So she says, "That is some super villain beep right there. It's in every movie." And again, I felt like the director was just winking to the audience saying, you got to do what you got to do. So a really sweet and interesting line was spoken by Angela Bassett, who plays Queen Ramonda. She's so elegant and beautiful and regal as the Queen of Wakanda. I just really love her portrayal of this queen. And so as they're talking about healing and the passing of her brother, her son, she says, "I found your brother in the breeze." And I liked that imagery. As loved ones pass on, we often do see them in the breeze, the sunshine, the butterflies, a flower, and that's a good thing, and that's an element of healing. Now, Tenoch Huerta says 2 really great things. I mean, he says a bunch of stuff, a bunch of good stuff, but here's one that I thought speaks to this last comment that I just shared with you from the Queen. And he says, my ancestors would often say, only the most broken people can be great leaders. And I thought that that was wise because he was recognizing the sorrow and the healing that Wakanda is currently going through. And now he's taking advantage of that. However, I also think it's true that if you have sorrow in your life, you can understand, you can empathize more with other people. And it makes you more considerate, more loving, more patient. And those are all very good qualities in a leader. And then another line that he says, and is repeated several times in the movie, is kind of a theme of the movie, and that is, how is never as important as why. I think that is absolutely true. A lot of us have big goals or items on our wish list or bucket list, and we get caught up in the how. And so we give up before we've even really started. Think about what your why is, and then just go for it. And the how will start to work itself out. A lot of dreams are crushed because people are giving up too soon, I think. Okay, so let me share with you a few recommendations for other movies that are sort of similar that I think you'll also like. The first one being, of course, Black Panther. You have to see that first one, I think, to really understand and appreciate the impact of this second one. So if you haven't seen that one, watch that one first and then watch this one. And then another movie that I thought of is Aquaman, simply because a lot of this movie is actually filmed underwater or with underwater people, a whole city. Maybe it's Atlantis, we don't really know. But Aquaman, of course, is the same, where it's from DC Comics. So here's our Marvel version of underwater city life, so to speak. Anyway, so check that one out as well. All right, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me, and I really appreciate your support. If my movie reviews are helpful in helping you to decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a movie, then please subscribe and like this video. Even if you just comment something down below about how you felt about the movie, that helps YouTube spread magic fairy dust all over my channel so more people can find my channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And have a fantastic day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.